The term obese is a slur because it is used to dehumanize us and harass. This only has 591 likes. Y'all suck. Oh, it has 2,000 quote tweets. Okay. It is not because our feelings are hurt by an accurate description. It is an outdated term that does more harm than good, and as such, it should be eradicated. Readers added context saying, obese is a technical term. According to the World Health Organization, overweight and obesity are defined as abnormal or excessive fat accumulation. So for the record, like, yeah, they're probably eating her ass in the QRTs. Let's be real. So the thing is, like, yeah, obesity is used as like a negative, right? It's a pejorative, but like, this is what I talked about with the Stanford conversation, right? The Stanford, like, meanie bobini words you can't say. No matter what happens, like an unhealthy medical diagnosis is still going to be like something that everyone recognizes is bad. I say fuck BMI too. You know my takes on fat shaming. It's not good. You know what I mean? It's not healthy. It's not productive. I say it all the time. These things are correct. Okay. I have good opinions on this matter, in my opinion. But as far as like obesity being treated like a slur or something, the reality is you're not going to be able to, like, by changing the language, you're not going to be able to change the main reason why people associate obesity as a negative. Like, that's not going to happen. Because ultimately, yes, being overweight to that degree is unhealthy. So people consider it to be a bad thing. Like, there is always going to be a negative association with being unhealthy like that. You're not going to be able to change the reality and have people go, oh no, actually, if we clean up the language, like, people will no longer think that, like, being obese to that degree is actually not a bad thing. I have good opinions, in my opinion. Hasan 2023, brother, that is Hasan every year. Okay? But shaming someone else with their choices isn't okay. So there is a two-part discourse on this, I guess. I have good opinions, in my opinion, makes sense because I know what you meant, but without context, it sounds like a Mike Tyson quote. It sounds like a banger quote, honestly. In my opinion, I think that's a good quote. Anyway, what is it? Devil's advocate. So is the R word. Dude, I know. Because it reached critical mass, and people were like, no, we're genuinely offended. Take it out of usage. It makes you look like a bad person, which is why I stopped. It's more so just to, like, operate in society as a pleasant person. But yeah, I do feel that way. No, I'm just not a fucking shithead gamer asshole who's going to, like, die on that hill, so I don't give a fuck, and so I don't say it. That's it. But, like, ultimately, if one were to make an argument about the R word, one could make the same exact fucking argument. It's just the truth. The issue is, with your culture, not our language, our culture will always find another way to say the same hateful thing regardless if we ban a word. Yes, but also, like, go one step beyond that. Okay? Go one step beyond that. The reality is, no matter what we think or how we delude ourselves, ultimately, there is a certain level of being fat and a certain level of being skinny that is unironically not healthy. Okay? It's just the truth. So, like, for us to turn around and act like, we can clean up the language, well, that doesn't change the reality of the situation, does it? So people are, of course, always going to find a different way to contextually say the exact same thing that every single person basically agrees on. It is the never-ending, both sides of I guess, the cultural ways in which language evolves. Because there are plenty of different words that people use as a substitute for the R word. I mean, we are literally on this platform where people, instead of saying the R word, will use pepega. We use emotes. You can't hide behind calling a medical term a slur. Yeah, we say silly Billy. We say, fucking insane, crazy. Ultimately, like, there's always going to be another word that you can substitute it for. What should be the replacement for obese? I vote tubby. I don't think it's going to get replaced. I can see some fat activists in the chat completely dismissing your takes. Plenty of fat activists have. They get very mad at me. But we are in a fucking anti-fat, fat-shaming society, so most people don't really listen to anything they have to say and just yell at them instead. So it low-key doesn't matter. And, you know. Bro, I'm fat, but I recognize that it's not healthy to be fat. Some people are just in denial. I think, like, there is a very reasonable part of discourse that fat activists have moved beyond for some weird reason. And that reasonable part of the discourse is don't fucking fat shame people. Because fat shaming a fat person is not going to be a come to Jesus moment for them. You're just going to cause them to be more fat. If your goal is to stop them from being fat, calling them fat is not going to be like, oh my God, like what? I'm fat? I had no idea. It's like, motherfucker, when you're fat, you know it, okay? Every fucking moment of your life. And it's not because society is telling you all the goddamn time that you're fat, but it surely doesn't help. But it's also because you get out of bed and you know that you're fucking fat, okay? That's how it works. It weighs on you. I know it's a double entendre, but it's just the way it is. I've talked about this so many fucking times. It hurts. You know it all the fucking time, every fucking day, every moment of your existence, you're aware that you're fucking fat. You feel it. You both feel it physically, but you feel it in your fucking soul, okay? So it's really frustrating when people are like, oh my God, you're fucking fat, dude. It's like, yeah, no shit, dude. No shit. Oh man, that's crazy. I can't believe thank you for telling me. Like, that's never happened. No one has ever been like, this is not a good take. Baited. Oh, fuck you, dude. That was a great take, you fucking son of a bitch. It's frustrating. It's really, really, really frustrating. I think for anything to be SLUR, there would need to be absolutely no context where it's an acceptable use case. Obese by consequence of being a medical term just doesn't fit that description. I mean, I guess you could say that for the R word, but the R word was also taken out of medical usage. So unless they take obesity out of medical usage, which I don't think that they're going to do, you have no argument for that. This seems to be making the rounds in bigoted circles. Fat people have always existed and will always exist. Fear-mongering and normal human variation does not work on me. But while you're here, you're not harassing another fat person who might not be able to handle it, so go off. Obese... Obese is a slur because it's a term used to degrade and dehumanize in everyday lingo and medical space to trivialize our care and treatment. Never denied it was a medical term. There are so many other terms that are medical but offensive. Stay mad, fat phobes. What? But she didn't. Oh, come on. I think the difference is that with the R word, there's nothing one can do about it. No, that's also fucked up because that's not true. There are plenty of medical reasons as to why you can't do anything about obesity either. So that's also not true. This notion that like everyone can be skinny is so fucking silly. There are so many systemic consequences that feed into your obesity, okay? You being unhealthy. Shut the fuck up. You're delusional if you think that that's not the case. Also, again, fat acceptance is not the reason why we have more fat people, dumbasses. Fat acceptance came as a liberal strategy to just, instead of finding another fucking solution like having a healthier diet and like maybe taking some of the fucking junk out of our goddamn everyday existence, we decided to just like make it just go in the other direction. Yeah, dude, it was crazy when fat acceptance was popping in the 90s. That's why everyone was fucking obese in the 90s and the 2000s. Shut the fuck up. Obesity rates did not increase as a consequence of fat acceptance. If fat acceptance was like actually a viable thing that like made it normal to be obese or whatever the fuck people think, then that would unironically have happened literally for the past, like since the 60s, I guess. Yeah. Jeff Nippard's video on obesity is so perfect for it. I highly recommend it. I watched it on stream. Friend of the show, Jeff. Not only if Hasan would get this mad about the height shaming he was himself doing a few weeks ago, because he's tall and uses that to feel superior to short people. Manlet is an actual slur. Short people can't do anything about their heights besides wear platform shoes and then get made fun of. Bro, you make it so hard, dog. You make it so fucking hard, homie. Like, this has to be bait, right? Please, please. I don't want to do it, but I'm moving on. I can't talk about this. I can't. It's gotta be bait. Like, come on. Bro, you went back to back nukes, COVID / mass and fat shaming, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, I know. Ay, dude. The manlet discourse must be had. No, I have no hatred. I love my short kings, dude. You can fucking stand on my shoulders every goddamn day. Do you understand? I love my short kings. I love them. You know this already. I protect and defend my short kings. I will help you reach the top cabinet every time, okay? Top shelf, I'm on it. It's just I think manlets are very different than short kings. You know what I mean? The manlet existence and the manlet experience is very different than a short king's, and they kind of ruin the reputation of short kings like quite frequently. Anyway,